Welcome everybody to an amazing episode of the AusNZ Community Podcast. We have a very cool guest on today. Really looking forward to asking some questions and getting some stuff out of this guy. He's playing on a very amazing team. Before we get to there, we have we're kind of Peteless at the moment. Pete called in sick this morning,
Yeah.
and um, he's not feeling the
Mhm.
best. So hopefully he is better for the next episode.
Mhm.
And we're gonna have to we won't have to repeat anything. Um, Sorry, that's really bad, but
We
it's one of the
tried.
jokes. It's one of the jokes that Pete would say himself. So I don't feel so
Yeah,
bad.
right?
Yeah. How are you, JR?
I am good. I am busy. I am really,
Busy?
really busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
welcome,
So
welcome to the real world and work.
I know it's like really a full-time job. I work throughout the day and then at night I still have either a training, a webinar, or a workshop or a meeting. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm very
Yeah.
much
Well.
occupied. Yeah. But how are you,
Yeah.
Eva?
Yes, I'm doing really well. I'm doing really well. I've been keeping myself busy with work and car stuff and
Mhm.
photography and a few other bits and
Mhm.
pieces. So yeah, I've been keeping
Yeah.
myself busy. I'm enjoying myself.
Good. Very good.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
No,
good.
indeed. So
Mhm.
let's introduce our guest.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's
we
do
could
that.
tag team this. Let's do this together. So I'll say I'll say his name. You tell us where he's from,
Yep.
and then we can introduce together. So, this is a very outstanding player whose name is GodsWheeler, and he's
Hmm.
from.
Discord. He is our first guest from the team Discord. Welcome.
Wow.
Welcome to the
Yeah.
podcast, God's Wheeler.
Thank you. It's a pleasure
Yes.
to
So
be
nice.
here.
Yeah.
Ah,
Welcome.
welcome.
So, yeah, we have so many questions. But first of all, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how long have you been playing? Have you played HCR1 and the real nitty gritty stuff?
I have been playing since 2018, and yes, I originally started off playing Hill Climb Racing 1.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep. What was your favorite vehicle in Hikrom Racing 1?
Probably Big Finger. I mean, who doesn't love it?
Oh, it was apart from the fact that the roll cage was made of bamboo.
That's true. Super Off-Road was also nice.
Yeah, Super
Mhm.
Off-Road was great, but the Big Finger was just it was everything the monster truck I thought the monster truck was going to be, but never was.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yes.
the Big Finger was fantastic, better than Super Diesel.
Well,
Mm.
that's to be debated. I would say Big Finger is very iconic to Hill Climb in general.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, definitely. So why did you start playing Hillclimb Racing 2?
Hmm. I would say I'm not 100% sure. I think I might have went and looked it up on the App Store, and it recently came out when I started playing it. There were only the
Mhm.
first 5 vehicles,
Yep.
Oh.
and so I just decided to try it out, and then got hooked on it from that time forward.
Yeah. I think the playability, um, I think the playability in terms of cups and a few other bits and pieces made it really good. Yeah, from my point of view, the cups
Yeah,
kind of had me.
I feel like it peaked about last year, though, and it's kind of starting to go downhill.
You're not the only one to think that. There's a few people out there that have started rumblings about how they wish it did this or did that or did this, and I will get into a bit of that. We'll get into a bit more of that as we go in, I think. Um, but yeah, it's kind of left I don't know, a bad taste. It's just left us wanting more. They've given us
Or
teams and teams. Teams got us. You know, all invigorated again, and then the map maker got us invigorated a little bit more. But we're kind of waiting for something else, aren't we?
I think masteries were meant to do that, but it turned into more of a money grab in a sense. And a
Yeah,
lot of a lot of people don't have the time, including
Mhm.
me, to sit down and grind vehicles for multiple hours a day.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I have 2 accounts, and yeah, it just I do it on my main account, as quickly as possible, but the second account just lags behind because it's just you know, I'll do it when I need to if I need to. I won't do it until I have to. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't have the time to do it, even if I need to do it. So lately I've
Yep.
been lacking in team events.
Yep. 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 Yeah, and that's the other part of it. These vehicles now have been thrown into team events
Mm.
to the point where there's mostly cars that need mastery, or mostly cars that need mastery and nitro to
That
do a
is
good drive.
true.
Yeah, because for a long time, nitro was elusive, and nitro was the thing that kind of gave you the edge in certain tracks.
I
Yeah.
feel like
Mm.
Nitro was a good idea, but it's too strong. It's too much of a reliance.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna lie with that. It is quite strong. It gives some.
It
I
gives
mean,
coin boost level power at a push of a button.
yeah. Whenever you, I suppose the other thing with nitro is you could use it wherever you need it, as opposed to, fuel boost, which is only where it is, and
Yeah,
coin
and it
boosters is only where it is.
yeah, and it can take the place of thrusters even if you will need to propel a little bit through the air in adventure mode without
Indeed,
taking
I've
up
actually,
any fuel.
I've never used it in adventure mode.
There are
I'm a
actually quite a few records now with Nitro to get over the last little bit to other fuels.
yeah. No. I'm across that, but I just I'm not at that level. I am nowhere near that level. I have been playing adventure on my main account for the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 months to try and catch up to DeBell, who's in second place worldwide. And I messaged him when I hit 3 million stars, and he said, "Oh, you've only got 3 million more to get me." um, but I've hit 3.1 million now. And if I go to the local records, I'm in 87th place. So I'm having a battle with a guy in 86th place. We're 1,000 here and 1,000 there, going up and down. So I'm still adding stars on a weekly basis, but it's only 1,000 stars a week or so, maybe 3 or 4,000 stars a week if I'm lucky. Um, but yeah, I'm nowhere near using Nitro to get that last hill. Nah, that's not me.
I'm not much of an adventure player myself, but once in a while I do enjoy the challenge of trying to beat one of my records.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I've been picking the low hanging fruit, so I'll open a track and find the
Mhm.
vehicle that's done the least amount of stars,
Or the
and
one
Mhm.
then
you found out that you didn't use it all somehow.
yeah, he didn't
Yeah.
use it all. No, no, no.
Yeah.
I've done.
Yeah.
I've used all vehicles in
Mhm.
all maps, but some of
Yeah.
them have only done like 1,000 stars. So
Mhm.
I grab those low hanging fruit and I just try and do that. And once I get that past all the rest of them, I go back to the next low hanging fruit and try and push them up, if that makes sense. And that way I'm learning the track as well as moving vehicles at the same time. So,
Yeah, that
yep.
is true. I do that sometimes too when
Mm,
I play
mm.
adventure mode.
Yeah. So I've got to ask the most important question, really.
Mhm.
How did you come to be on Team Discord?
Hmm. I would say I was friends with one of the team members. I forgot exactly who,
Okay.
but I do not think it's someone currently in Discord at the moment. Oh, Notorious. He
Hmm.
invited me to Empire as well.
Yep.
Mm.
And he was in there and he said, if you ever need a home, Discord's a great place. So I think it was the next month I hit him up saying, hey, I want to try it out. And then I became good friends with Notch and some other leaders and players inside Discord. And this is basically my home away from home, if you will.
Oh, that's good.
No, very cool. Yeah, very cool.
Have you tried creating your own team throughout your 7 years of playing the game?
Not once. No, I have not.
Yeah.
Mm. So you never
Honest,
wasted 50 gems.
no. The way I wasted my gems was trying to beat the one guy who had 2 winners on a signature challenge.
Yeah, I've done that as well. Trust me, it's
Really?
infuriating. It's like, oh my god, he beat me by you know, half
Point
a
oh
hair's
oh
breadth.
seven eight,
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah. Same as the daily challenge. The daily challenge was always a bit of fun. I miss that stuff. We should do more of that. Um, our daily server needs to be reignited. JR, do you have a question?
Ask
I
away.
have a I have a question that is not really each year two question, but your Discord ID or something has a very cool animation. Can you tell us about that? Who is that character?
Um, my profile effect
Yeah.
is that profile effect is named Saya, and I
Mm.
got it a while ago because one of my friends recommended it to me. Like, hey, if you got some extra cash, this is a really nice anime themed one. So I just went and looked around a bit and found it, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, it's one of the more expensive ones. Well, at the
Mm-hmm.
time it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided it'd be a cool thing to wave on my profile.
Mm.
Very cool. I
Okay.
just I just
Are you
checked
a
it. I
fan?
just checked it
Are
out.
you a, yeah? Are you a fan of anime?
I am a diehard anime fan. Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
cool. You and my daughter would get along. Uh,
um. So, just what's where do you start and end in anime?
I say, you mean genre-wise or just overall anime?
Overall, like, I started a long time ago in a galaxy even far away. um,
I would,
so, my taste on anime was Battle of Planets and oh my god, Robotech, and Robotech, led into Gundam and all that sort of stuff. So,
ah,
Astro Boy and yeah, fair few of those, but it's come a long way since then, I must say.
yeah.
yeah, I started probably, I'd say 2 years ago, really started
Okay.
watching anime. And it started with the popular series called Komi Can't Communicate,
Mm-hmm.
which is a modern school day romance type scenario.
Right.
Mm.
And at the same time, we started Spy X Family, which is practically the best mystery shonen in its class.
Okay.
So my anime taste varies widely.
Yep.
I would go for romance, shonen, like Demon Slayer, and basically any other genre in between. I mean, sometimes I like to stay away from stuff that's a little too, how do I put it, dark.
Fair
Mm.
enough.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
but there are moods where I watch that stuff.
Yep.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Very
Oh, very
cool.
nice. Yeah. I don't know whether I can put that your animation in the video. But
Oh,
Will it get it
yeah.
copyrighted?
with
Oh,
no, it's more so just I don't know how I'm going to record it, bugger it. Look him up on Discord.
yeah.
Find his account and hover over his profile pic. It's fantastic. It's
Yeah.
yeah, worth the trawling to get there. Yeah,
Yep.
no,
A lot of
definitely.
people have told me it's a little too flashy. so I took it off for a while.
No,
Uh,
I like
you,
it.
you see, I work for a company, and we're told we're not supposed to be ostentatious because you know we're not here to make money. We're here to be helpful and stuff like that. And it's
Mhm.
like, you know, but I've got a really nice, and I want to show it off, but you can't. So yeah, I know how you feel.
Mhm, mhm.
I
My
also
Uh,
have
next,
another profile effect that I really
yeah,
like. I
uh-huh.
just equipped it if you would like to view it.
Oh, that
oh,
is so nice. Gosh.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that is
So
cool.
this is paid. You have to pay for this.
Yeah, with Nitro, it's about
Oh,
$5-6.
oh, okay.
Uh,
I think I got both the avatar decoration and the
Mm-hmm.
profile effect for about $8 in a bundle.
um,
And that's for
that's
1 month.
Uh, no, it's a
it's you buy
Or
one-time
it
purchase.
one time purchase. I could
oh,
I could live without 2 cups of coffee.
yeah, yeah. I'll do that. I'll find
I could
some.
do that. I'll find something.
Next episode, Eva, we will upgrade our Discord.
No, no,
we,
no,
we,
no.
we're gonna be one of the cool kids. Don't you
Yeah,
want
we're
to?
gonna. Yeah,
You go to
maybe.
shop. If you go to
Uh-huh.
shop, there's literally everything. If
Yeah.
you're a fan of Hunter x Hunter, they have that on there. My Hero
Mm.
Academia, they got Star Wars. The
Oh
Star
I
Wars
will
no, no.
chat
bundles.
with you. I'll chat with you on DM and you have to teach me how to do this because 50-year-old people don't usually have these things.
Speak for yourself, Jr.
Ah. Okay, I have another question. What
All
is
right.
the meaning behind God's wheeler?
I have people ask me this all the time.
Yeah.
And it started when as in my dad and me, kind of started it together,
Mhm.
but it really quickly transferred to me playing because my dad did not have a lot of time. But the main vehicle we ran, for the most part, was Scooter with landing boost and wings when that came out. And every time we'd cross the finish line, it would be in a wheelie position. And we our family is Christian, and so am
Yeah.
I. We have that
Mm-hmm.
conviction.
Mm-hmm.
So we gathered everybody around and we're like, what's a good name? So we were like, God's Wheelie Warrior. But of
Mm-hmm.
course, we
Enough
pretty learned,
characters.
yeah, we learned pretty quickly that it was not going to fit in the name bar. So we took Wheelie and Warrior and turned it into
Oh,
Wheeler.
killer. Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how
Cool.
God's Wheeler was born.
No, very cool. Very cool.
Uh-huh. Mm,
No, I like
nice.
that. I liked it a lot.
Mm, mhm.
I
Okay, go on.
I have not seen a lot of people with that type of name either. I feel like a lot of people select their names on random, and I mean, that's okay, but having a story behind your name makes it so meaningful.
Do you
Does.
Kind of
know the
ties you
Does.
closer
story?
to the
Do
game.
you, do you know the story behind Eva's name? He's never said it before. Do you want to hear it?
Sure, since we're going into backstories
Okay.
now.
Yeah, right? Let's hear it,
Uh,
Eva.
yeah, here we go. So I've never said it before, Jr.
Oh, you
And I
never
thought
said
you
it
were the.
before.
Oh, here we go. And you're the podcast cheerleader. Um, so my nickname was originally had full stops in it because it was an acronym for every vehicle available, EVA, and that's why it's in capitals still.
Ah,
But when Teams come out, so I joined as Eva E.V.A. And then when Teams come out, I added the team name at the end. And when I started playing on Team Cat and E.V.A. was too long for the title, so I shortened it. I removed the dots, and then it just stayed as Eva without the full, the periods. So and then people thought I was a female, so
hmm.
it just went downhill from there.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. But it's I think a girl, the Blue Bayou, she had the thing of, hey, if I'm a female, people would race a female differently mentality, and I think sometimes that's kind of a bit of a laugh.
It is a bit of a laugh, but I wouldn't say so much in HCR. But in many other
No.
games, it does have an effect.
Yeah. No, no.
Especially shooting games. We're not even gonna
Yeah.
go there.
No,
Mhm.
no, all good.
Mhm.
Alrighty, well, should we start asking some of the questions, JR?
We should start asking questions because there's a list of questions.
All right, well, do you want me to start?
Yeah, you can
Okay.
go.
All right, well, I will. The first question is a series of questions from Cape, and you've kind of answered a few of them, and he usually asks a fair few really good questions. But I think we should ask this one. If you could make a big merge happen, 3+ teams, which teams would you do it and why?
I would say coming from my mentality, I'm a very competitive person. So I
Yep.
would take probably Vortex, Discord, and North and put them into one team.
Oh.
Practically the three strongest teams in HCR, and then
Mhm.
put them into one. I would say Empire, but they've kind of had a little bit of an unstable period with their competition. So they
Yeah.
have a few good members on there all the time, but it's more of a
Mhm.
rotating arsenal.
But has Discord ever tried to merge with some other
Yes,
teams? Oh,
yes,
yeah.
they have. They almost merged with North.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I think at the end, the leaders decided it would be best to keep the teams separate because everybody was everybody's friend on both teams and they didn't want any division.
Yep.
Mhm.
Well, the biggest trouble and hardest part of a merge like that is how do you draw the line at 50 top players and then
Exactly.
kick 50 who are also really good top players
Yeah,
into a
right?
second team. Um,
And if
I
it
mean,
be 3+ teams, that's even less. You got to narrow it
yeah,
down quite a bit.
yeah. So I think that can sometimes be the hardest part because whatever you do, you're going to offend somebody somewhere.
Mhm.
And I know a great example of that happening.
Yeah,
Tell us
yeah,
more.
yeah,
Tell
yeah.
us more.
Now, you guys might know, but a while before Supreme was created, Asylum and Unity were going to merge into a team that would have been called Ascension. And
Mm.
because of
Okay.
player placement, a
Mhm.
lot of people got offended because they all
Oh,
thought they were good enough for the main team. And then eventually
mm.
things just got so bad that that period of the merge never happened.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. No, and that's the trouble with big mergers and getting,
Yes.
that sort of stuff to happen.
Mhm.
And I think that's part of the
Mm.
reason why Unity fell apart is because people just had long-lasting grudges.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. It's hard
Mm.
to keep everybody happy. That's all I can say.
That is very true.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what was it? I was kicked out of the AusNZ top team by a guy, and I think I've let it go by now.
Really?
No.
How many percent is left?
Oh,
No,
it's
I
it's
don't
it's a big
believe
number.
you.
No. Just I just like to
Yeah,
bring it
yeah.
up and give him shit. He
Uh-huh.
knows who he is. I'm not going to mention him by
Yes.
name, Anubis. Yeah, no. So it's just part of it's part of being wanting to be in the team and wanting to be part of the ones
Yeah.
that matter, and then being
Yes.
I
pushed down. That kind of
Yes.
that kind of gets into you, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think I've only been ever kicked out of a team once, and that was the first team I ever joined.
Why? Do you Do you know why you were kicked out?
Probably because I was very new to the game.
Yeah.
They're actually in Division 1 currently.
I still
Wow.
remember. You want to
Yep,
mention?
their name is called Cannonball Run. It was the first team
Oh.
I ever joined. I think I had around 1,000 garage power, and about probably I'd say 45 minutes after I joined, I got kicked because some dude didn't like me or something like that.
It's their loss. Now look at
Yes, they're lost.
where you
Yeah.
are. Right?
Yep. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
If they're
Definitely.
listening, they're saying, "Oh man."
I don't feel mad at them though. It did help me to find some good people.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I must say, joining Team Cat, because I was on a team that was this Aussie team called Oldies, and there was just no direction. No one wanted to do anything. We only had one leader. There was no co-leaders, so there were
Mhm,
times when you'd wait, 18 hours for another match and all that sort of
mhm,
stuff. And it
Oh,
was
I
like,
know how
you know,
that problem is.
so I started looking and found a guy called Drunk Idiot on the server, on the Fingersoft server, and then he got me into um, Team Cat. So where I met Tessa and the rest of them, and like there was just this whole bunch of really cool people in this team, and I felt like I was at home. It was fantastic. So
yeah.
yeah, no, I know the feeling. I know the feeling indeed.
Mhm,
I
All
remember
right.
waiting like a few days for somebody to match, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave. I think it
mhm.
was a Division 7-ish team. I'm going
Yep.
Uh-huh.
by divisions, even though it has nothing to do with divisions at the time, but they were a very low
Mhm,
team.
Yeah,
mhm,
yeah.
Really, I was just trying to find a team that would fit in, or
Yep.
I fit
Yes.
in with them.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
We all know that feeling.
Mm, indeed. Indeed. JR, do you want to ask a question?
Yes, this question is from Go Santa. Thank you for this question. He wanted to ask, what's your advice for new players who just started their own team in the game?
I would say try to be on like Discord, the communication app, or other forms of social media, and try to invite friends. You all need a basis. And if you want to start your own team, you need something to build up from. So bring trusted friends in it, even if they just start an account to have them in there. You need to get it going little bit of fuel at a time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes,
But
that's really
most but mostly I would say you have to have interactions with other people on social media.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, indeed.
Yep.
Indeed. Yeah.
And I
And I
would
mean,
also say one more
Yes.
thing. I would also say get together a list of people that want to join your team before you start one, because
Yeah.
you might be stuck at 10 people for years.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
500 gems is a lot.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. JR, you've got a question that is your own
Yes,
question. Ask that
I
one.
have some I have some questions myself. What is your favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby, I would say it's creating music.
Huh.
Oh.
I use a little bit of GarageBand. I want to get a computer together so that I can use more professional music software and maybe turn it from something like not a hobby, maybe a source of income. But
Mhm.
I do that. I'm a musical person through and through. I hear music in car breaks, if you will.
Oh. What musical instrument do you play?
I do not know how to play a musical instrument, but I do dabble with piano, guitar,
Mhm, mhm,
kalimba, and
mhm.
bongos.
Mm. Very
Mostly
cool.
That's a
piano, though.
that's a lot of lot of instruments.
Oh, I have a friend who plays the harp, and let me tell you, when that is the most majestic musical instrument you will ever hear.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah. I must say, I have a friend who plays the cello. She teaches as well, and
Mhm.
I love I love the cello. It's just one of those things. But
The
I can
cello,
see how
mm,
I can see how the harp is so majestic, but I find that the cello's got some depth to it as well as some bass and I don't know. It's just my take on it, I suppose.
I would
Mm-hmm.
say the cello is probably my all-time favorite musical instruments because it's a crying bass, if I
Mhm.
can describe it like that. It
Yeah.
sounds, it has a lot of emotional depth to it compared to even a violin sometimes.
Yep. 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 Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
Okay.
actually did a shoot. I did a shoot with her, and she started
Yeah.
playing "Smoke on the Water" on the cello, and I was tapping my feet, going, "Hang on, I know that song."
Mm,
Anyway,
okay.
so
I
I
have
will
one more
ask one.
question.
Oh, go on, go on.
Yeah. So the my other question is, if you could have three players to join your team Discord, who would they be?
Mm, I've thought a little bit about this, and I
Yeah.
would say one, I would have Mono Victor join
Mm-hmm.
because he is probably one of the best, if not the best, player in hill climb racing. I would say as number two, I would do a person named Flo. He was a former Unity member, and
Mm.
he quit the game and deleted his account, and then came
Mm.
back and started a new one.
Wow.
Oh.
And he's a really good guy, and he's really good at the game too.
Mm-hmm.
And a third person. Hmm. This one I've been struggling with because I don't know a ton of people that would leave their teams.
Whether
I'd
they'd leave or
probably,
not is not the question, but do you want them is the question.
yeah, if that's the case, I would probably say Dijan.
Mhm.
DC Dijan. He left on a whim in the middle of nowhere and joined Vortex, and everybody was pretty mad at him.
Yeah.
I would
Okay. Fair.
say I'm just speaking from rumors, but a lot of people think Vortex pays their members, and it's completely
Uh,
in question.
yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of the things that's circulating right now. I do not know if it's true or not. I have been offered money to join teams, but I have never done it,
Mm-hmm.
so I know it's a thing. And
Yeah. Fair enough.
considering he was one of the founding fathers alongside Notch of Discord,
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make a lot of sense why he would up and leave in the middle of a team
Yeah.
event match, no less.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's kind of banned territory. Never come back.
Yeah.
Mm, interesting.
Oh. Yep.
Sorry to
Okay.
sour the mood a little bit.
No, no, that's all right. That's all right. But I mean, you know, i- how many other games? This is not mobile games, but how many other games are there where um, people are being paid to play because of clans and teams and all that sort of stuff? Um,
I would say a good majority of games are being
mm,
influenced by money.
yeah, 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 yeah. But I look at HCR2 and I think, other than being able to say we're the top team, there's nothing. There's no reward for it. There's no. Um,
There's not even any monetary gain really, unless you're a big YouTuber like
yeah, yeah,
Videshak or Vocope.
yeah. And even then, they've built their empires in YouTube on how to play the game, not being tops. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Um, so it's not the Vershak team that makes his videos his videos. It's him himself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. Hmm. Okay. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, I have some questions from Darwin X Anime. Um, we've asked about your name. We've asked how you got recognised and how you got into Discord. He's asked a question: do you like playing team events? Sorry, do you like playing time attacks? And if you do, what is your favourite map in time attacks?
I would say time attack is by far my favorite mode. I was not very good at it until one of those events where you had like 5 time attacks in a row. That absolute pain to get every
Yep.
single landing right kind of
Yep.
forced you to do a bit better. But I would
Yeah.
say I'm pretty good at time attack now, and my favorite map is probably Desert Valley or
Mm.
Desert Mile specifically.
Yeah. It's got some very painful parts, and
Especially the cave.
especially the cave. But it also has some really good landing points to give you that extra boost.
And the favorite part of that is the part where you just hit that straight away and then you just go launching off of it.
Yep, 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 yep. I wonder if you went over the cave like they did recently with the motocross in Winter is Coming with that
I,
Winter
s-
Mile track. I
I
wonder whether you can
saw
go
that.
over the. Yeah.
The only way you would probably be able to go over it is if you skipped somehow the big jump and then went to that odd lump in the middle of the other straightaway and then hit
Yeah.
that.
You'd have to have you'd have to be carrying a lot of speed to be able to clear that. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. Maybe trial it with some jump shocks and thrusters on Super Diesel or something to get up that high. See if you can go over.
Probably the only thing you could do it with is Moonlander if you somehow manage to conserve fuel. But I don't
Yeah.
see really anything having the fuel capacity to use
No, to get up.
thrusters.
Yeah. Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. No, I like that track. I've never done exceptionally well other than fluke runs. In cups, I've done a fluke run and just gone, wow, that was fast.
Mhm.
And it's
Probably
not
the
been
fa- Probably the favorite and easiest thing to do there is the old Superbike way.
okay. Superbike with what wings, um,
Turbo
wheelie
and
boost.
afterburner.
Oh wow, turbo and afterburner.
Yep,
Oh,
imperfect start and an immediate reset gets you over the first part, and with full downforce, you actually fly pretty fast.
interesting. And you don't run out of fuel with afterburner on it.
You have with Superbike's low tank, all your jumps have to be, I'd say there's like a 2 second gap that you have to mess up. It's not much.
Okay, I might have a go.
And yeah, if you don't make it successfully through the cave, you're basically doomed. You sometimes fall into
Yeah.
the water pit.
Yep. Yep.
It's a gamble, but it's fun to take.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Oh, we'll give that a go. Definitely give that a go. All right. He's also got. Do you have a favorite public event?
And yes, Fingersoft, bring it back. The regular multi-jump, not the one with the
Oh,
bar.
One with the bar. Which one's the one with the bar?
Uh, uh, I think they had like an airtime bar one time, but
Oh,
they kept putting spins on the multi-jump, and it kind of made it really
yeah.
stressful.
yep.
And maybe even change it to where you can't use masteries in public events and team events to make it fair for a lot of people. That's just a
I
personal
still,
thing, really.
I still
Mm.
think public events should be fixed vehicles.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good idea because glider and bolt are pretty hard to unlock.
Yeah. Well, not so much just glider but just in general have fixed vehicles. And I honestly think they should do fixed vehicles and fixed parts. And
Yeah.
it then comes down to picking the right vehicle, because you know how public event, you've got, you know, maybe 5 or 6 tracks across the public event. And they give you 5 or 6 vehicles, and each vehicle is tuned for one specific track. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But the fact with fixed vehicles is the fact that there's not a lot of diversity. For example, you could
No.
have a Jeep doing just as good as a super diesel,
Yeah,
or
for sure. For sure.
a monster truck trying to beat a moonlander.
Yeah.
It gives the
Or
public events such an edge.
yeah, it does. No. I suppose with every change comes someone who's going to go, "Ooh, I didn't like that."
Yeah, maybe the fixed parts in specific events, but like every vehicle available.
Yep. Well, that's what
Oh.
Eva's all
Yep.
about.
Mm-hmm.
Like how they did for recently, they did the Super Parts Bros series of events. And
Yep.
at first, it was any vehicle you had plus tuning parts doubled, which I'm pretty sure you know had some really weird glitches into where it transferred into regular races.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
And now they did like all vehicles fixed parts and fixed levels.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Made it a lot
Ingersoft
Yeah.
more
No.
should
even.
make should make a public event that's titled "Every Vehicle Available." Eva. I know they're listening. Take note of this, Fingersoft.
What if you had a public event with every public event in it? You multi-jump 200. You
Ooh.
do a long
Ooh.
jump for 200
Hmm.
meters, and then a small time attack, and then a little bit of multi-jump, and then you got
Like
a
a
wheelie.
combination of everything. Oh gosh.
And all timed. It'd be like a
Mm.
That would be
multiple
very interesting.
mayhem mashup or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I reckon if you're using names like that, they'll pick it up. Um. Oh,
Or
geez.
in reference to their past event names, probably masochistic mashup.
JR, did you want to ask that question from Pete?
A question from Pete. Get well soon, Pete. Wants to ask, what is your strategy for getting a high win streak? And do you use gems to keep it going?
So the strategy is really I just press the gas button. I'm not really sure if there's a strategy there.
Mm-hmm.
Do I use gems to keep it going? Only if it's above 50, which I haven't got to that point yet. I don't remember.
You're at
But I would
82.
Oh, I am? Please, I don't even keep
Uh-huh.
track anymore.
I'm at 40 something. But I used gems 3 times.
I would say the only real benefit of me using gems for a win streak is the
Yeah.
XP multiplier. If I'm running vehicles like Beast and Lowrider.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
I
right now, I think I have a
I
win
have
streak of
been
3.
yeah
Mm-hmm.
I have been using gems to keep my win streak going, because I have been using it to use the gem multiplier. Sorry, the XP multiplier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, but especially on the alt, because the alt was the one that needed the extra hand.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
lost a lot of gems from my glory days, so I don't have the luxury of like buying stuff with it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with all the new parts and vehicles, I gotta buy my parts from the shop, and then there's another 1,000 gems for a chest down a drain.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. 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 Indeed. Indeed. Okay. Here is a question from Jay Hay. Do you have a routine before a new team event? What's your strategy to improve your score during the week?
Okay, so strategy-wise, I actually do have a strategy. Anytime a new
Okay.
event comes out, I go and watch Vereshak and Voko, both of them.
Okay. Both.
And I cross-examination. I do like one of those little cross-examinations on their methods.
Yep.
See, okay, I can do this here with just a little bit cost here and more XP here.
Yep.
And then if it's practicable, I go and practice. And even then, I can go to like, if it's a time attack track that's not practicable, I go to one that's similar and mess around with the tuning parts and timings.
Okay.
I don't spend probably more than half an hour doing it, but I would say that's my strategy before a new team event and during a team
Hmm.
event. I check
Okay.
regularly in case like YouTubers upload a different path or something like that.
Hmm.
I have
Do
like I think
you
I've like twice I've gotten a better score than YouTubers by using a different path, but it's very rarely. I mostly stick to the playbook.
Oh, very cool. And do you play every single pair of tickets?
I usually run all my tickets, yes. Well, when the team event begins, I run all 4 tickets. It's really a beta test in a sense. I get to know the
Yep.
tracks and the layouts and where my weaknesses are. Jump shocks is hard to hit here, so I might have to change it out. And I'm really just experimenting for the first 4 tickets.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. So
Strategy.
just so when you were doing a run of tickets, right? Say you bomb out on track one, do you close and start again, or do you finish the other 3 tracks for
It,
practice?
I would say, yeah, it depends on the track, but usually, as of recent, I would close it out because I would say I'm decent enough at the game where I don't need the practice I used to, but I used to run it all the way through every time, no matter
Okay.
what the runs were.
Yep.
Lately, I've been losing patience with the game though, so it's not really happening.
Uh, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Okay. Very interesting. JR, your question?
Yes, these are some questions from Easy Stanley. His first question is, do you play with the game sounds on or off?
I play with the game sounds off, and I turn
Mm.
on my Spotify.
Yeah, that's good.
Honestly, I don't really know what Bolt sounds like. I just I never really played with them on. I mean, I occasionally turn the music on for a daily dose of nostalgia, but that's about it.
He wants to ask next, what about ghosts? Are your ghosts from your team, from the opponent, or no ghost?
I run the ghosts of the team who's first in everything.
So you switch through a team
I
event.
It depends. Usually, yes. If like let's say all our top players are second, but they have like one blue guy in first every time, I'll change it to opposing team because I
Yep.
know that's the best run.
Yeah. 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 Fair enough.
But if it's back and forth, I usually just do my team ghosts because there's usually not a big difference.
Okay, his third question is, do you have a favorite chair or area in your home that you tend to play HCR2 the most?
Okay, so that would be either the rickety couch or my bed.
When
Probably
you're
Yeah.
in
the
bed,
bed.
do you lay back with the phone above you, or do you lay face down with the phone in front of you?
I sit up against the backboard.
Ah,
I
Mm.
cannot play or read anything when it is directly above me or in front of me lying down. It
okay.
stresses my eyes out a little too
Stresses
much.
your eyes out.
Especially looking at it up, I have to
Yep.
hold it up too. So eventually your
Yeah.
arms are going to get tired if you play a long time.
Yeah. Well,
And I've already,
when I'm about to fall asleep, that's how I play.
Yeah.
I play lying down
Yeah.
with the phone above me, and if I fall asleep, it falls on me. You see, and that way it
yeah,
stops playing.
So,
yeah, it's a
um,
little bit different with a tablet.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
So you
Yeah.
play what tablet do you play on?
I play on an iPad 8th generation, and I used to
Yep.
play on an Android tablet.
Uh-huh.
I transferred it when I got this one gifted to me, but it's an old Android.
Yeah.
I'd say I played it on an iPad to start with. I think it was an iPad 5th gen I started on. Then I
Yep.
transferred to the Android. It's like a 3-year-old Android iPad. It still works though.
Yeah.
And then I transferred it to this one.
Very cool. See, I've been.
I also play laying down, it's either before I go to sleep or when I wake up. So I've experienced this, and let me know if you've experienced this also. So I'm playing cups, and then the phone is, on top of on my face, and then the throttle just stops. It won't press down, even with my finger, with my thumb on it. It holds. The vehicle stops mid cup.
Uh,
Have you
Yep.
there's
experienced this?
usually there's usually a reason for that, and that's
Yeah.
if any other part of your finger is holding down on the screen somewhere, it's registering that instead of your thumb, aka
Yep.
the new presence, or a bit of sweat will either hold down your brake pedal and you're wondering why it doesn't work,
Hmm.
or mess up your other area of your screen.
Hmm.
Or it could be the last thing, which is your thumb's not really working properly because you're so tired.
No, 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 no. I was thinking it's the position of the phone because it's
Mm.
like, hanging that way. I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
it has a gyroscope, so I'm not sure if it's
No.
gonna affect it much.
Well, who knows, right? Who knows?
If that'd be the
Okay.
case, I wonder who would play upside down for better quality.
Well, I used to play on a tablet on my alt account. I had a very old, small, shitty Samsung
Yeah.
tablet.
Uh-huh.
But I use a fold phone with a big squarish screen to get more
Mhm.
screen size. Um, but I'm interested to play on a bigger tablet because you'd have a whole lot more accuracy when landing on stuff because the
Yeah, the
vehicle's bigger.
screen does help.
Yep.
You don't lose track of your vehicle when you're thrusting upward, and same thing when you're going down, unless you have
Yep.
spoiler. Nothing will save you if you have spoiler,
Mm-hmm.
unless you run a computer. But
Yep.
I'm not too big on people running computers for a mobile game. It
No,
just
no, no, no.
doesn't sit right with me.
No. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Um.
Did you
So
want me to
that's
continue asking?
no.
That's
What I was going to do, I'll ask the
yeah.
question from Static,
Yeah, cool. And I'll go back to mine.
and then yeah, you'll go back to yours. Okay.
Yeah.
So here is
Yep.
a question from Static. Thanks for the question, Static. So we have seen gameplay of HCR3. What are your thoughts on how that will impact HCR2? And he's also added a little addendum. It says, Eva, feel free to go down the rabbit hole. So have you seen the HCR3 footage?
Yes, I have. I'm not
Yep.
Mhm.
so sure about everybody else, but I
Yep.
believe some of the more desperate to play casual players will go there.
Yep.
I have a feeling
Yeah.
that it's HCR3's, in my opinion, it shouldn't have been made, or at least changed up somewhat. I was thinking it was going to be like Asphalt 9 sort of scenario, but with a little bit more blocky graphics.
Yep. Yep.
But
Okay.
it's still the same concept as HCR2. It's just a little bit 3D.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really interesting that last night I watched the movie Free Guy,
Oh
and
Lord.
you've seen Free. Has anybody seen Free Guy? You've seen Free Guy?
No, not
Yeah.
really.
I've seen Free Birds, and if it's anything like that, it's going to be
No,
a
no, no,
catastrophe.
no. It's a movie called Free Guy. It's got Ryan Reynolds in it, and it's about
Is
a game with AI in it.
Oh, I have seen little bits and pieces of that one.
Yeah. But one of the scenes, and this is pertinent to this question. one of the scenes is the guy who develops this game called Free City, which is what this whole movie's about, says, he's releasing Free City 2, and he makes he asks the question, why don't you develop a new game that's different? And his response was, well, if I was making KFC and someone said, let's make something else, I would make KFC but tastier. I wouldn't make something different completely.
Yeah, but this
And
KFC 3 isn't necessarily tastier.
well, this was the thing. I honestly think that statement was wrong, because what you should be doing if you're making KFC and you've already got 1 million people eating KFC, making KFC 2, the 1 million people are going to go, oh, that was disgusting, I don't like it, right? But if you made Kentucky Fried Salmon,
Or
right? If you
coleslaw.
made, yeah, but coleslaw is just an addition to the chicken. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is, if you had a completely different, like you had Kentucky Fried Salmon or Kentucky Fried, I don't know, pick something, right? And all of a sudden you then start addressing people who had never walked into a KFC store, and they're enjoying the salmon. They might try the chicken, but the people who try the chicken, who buy the chicken, might try the salmon, but they're still going to go back for the chicken every single time. But occasionally they might have a change and have some salmon. So you'll make more money that way than you will making KFC 3. Do you know what I mean? They've got KFC, and then they've made KFC 2, which was hot and spicy. And the third one just doesn't kind of gel. So I think
Yeah.
what Fingersoft were doing when they made HCR3 was not trying to get everybody who plays HCR2 into HCR3. I think what they were looking for was some people going, oh, I might try it and have a play because I like what they've made for us here. And they might go, yeah, that was great, but I won't play it. I'll go back to HCR2. And then there are some people that might play it, enjoy what they're doing, and stay.
Yeah.
And then vice versa, they might get a whole new genre of people who play. So I think the reasoning behind the game not being exactly what people thought was because they were looking for HCR2, but in 3 dimensions. And what Fingersoft have really done have made a game that other people might play that might be playing something else, which is not HCR2 or 1, but completely something different. But they'll play it because it's got some similarities to something else they've played before, which is not HCR2 related.
So they're basically, in a sense, widening the funnel for audiences.
Yeah. Yeah.
I understand that. But for all of us HCR2 people, all 2 billion of us or whatever, it would be nice to see a little bit different of a change.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and I go on about this over and over again whenever we talk about this. But people go, oh, they've been developing HCR3, and oh my god, what's going to happen to HCR2? Well, they're still upgrading HCR1. They're still adding cars to HCR1. They're still adding tracks to HCR1. They're not going to just turn off the tap, because that would offend all of the people who are playing HCR2 and HCR1. So it's a very interesting predicament. But I honestly think, would I play HCR3? Probably. Would I spend a lot of time in it? Probably not. If I wanna spend 10 minutes on a game, I'll pick it up and play cups. If I want to spend an hour on the game, I'll pick it up, do my team event tickets, play some adventure, play some cups, do some scrapping, all the other stuff. But generally, generally it's all about, how much time I want to spend in the game. And HCR3 looks like the sort of game that you would play, you'd pick up and play with your friends. So you'd get some friends together and, and play as a group, as opposed to playing on your own. So I don't know. I think it's a different sort of game that's going to cater for a different sort of people, which is, I think, what they were aiming for.
That is a good observation. I like that,
Mm.
actually.
Mm. Sorry, that was the deep rabbit hole.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the deep rabbit hole.
Mhm.
JR, do you want to ask a question?
Yeah, so I have two more questions. Nate Pig speaks highly of you. How does it feel to play with top players and a high ranking team such as Discord?
I would say for me, it's never about the high team, but about the people that are in the team. I want a
Mm,
family, not
yeah.
necessarily the bad guy squad, if you will.
Mhm. Mm.
I found homes in Universe. I'm great friends with Drop Tech. We've called several times. Unity was
Ooh.
my first home and
Mhm.
it will forever be in my memory as my
Yeah.
home. And then
Yeah.
Cheap Tricks, tons of great people there.
Mhm.
And then a Division 1 team called Jesus Christ, so many good folks in there as well.
Mhm.
League South Africa, which I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure there's going to be a question of what teams have you been in. So I'm just going to
Mhm.
go on that now.
Yeah.
Started with Cannonball Run and then
Yeah.
went to a team called Jesus
Hang on,
Christ.
hang on. And to all the people on Cannonball Run,
Beep.
sorry,
Oh.
that was me blowing raspberries. After you, GodsWheeler.
Well, I don't feel mad at them. They did what they
No,
thought was
no,
right
no,
in the moment.
no, no, no. I'm just stirring.
He's just
I'm just
giving them
stirring.
shit.
So Cannonball Run, Jesus Christ, and then I moved to a team called League South Africa, which is currently Republic of South Africa, RSA
Mhm.
Phoenix.
Mhm.
And then I messaged the big day. I went and messaged I directly in DMs, like, hey, can I join Unity?
Mm.
I had about 8,800 garage power at the time.
Yeah.
And so he's like, send me some screenshots.
Mhm.
I completely expected him just to be like, yeah, not even respond at all.
Yeah.
But then I sent him a team event run. It was one with like a 2 kilometer moon time attack with rally car. I still remember it. And I got like
Yeah.
under a minute somehow. And I basically
Oh.
was the best player in Unity. One of the best. Well,
Uh-huh.
for my garage power, I was
Yeah.
very high up there.
Uh,
And so a few days later, I got into Unity.
Oh
oh,
wow,
wow. That's cool.
Yep. And then I stayed there for 2 years.
wow.
Ooh.
And then
Yeah.
I left the month Supreme was formed. Right at the
Mhm.
end of the month, I left. The next day, it was Supreme. I had no idea about the merge.
Mm. Mm.
I honestly
Okay.
got a little bit offended because I knew nothing about it. I had no idea they were
Yeah.
going to merge with Asylum again.
Oh.
And honestly, to me, Asylum was a bit toxic.
Mm.
At least it seemed like that from the outside. And I still
Mhm.
think it is.
Yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah. No, well, you were there. You can hand on your heart say that was me. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes.
Yeah, I had some people from there threaten me in my DMs if I didn't come
Oh
over.
my god. Oh my god.
That is not good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
if you don't come over, I'm going to hack into your account. And I'm like, you can't hack into my account. How does that even work?
Yeah.
So I just
Yeah.
left them, gave them a few middle fingers, and moved on.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Okay.
I have a bit of a grudge against Asylum.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. Mhm.
And then after Unity, I went to Cheap Tricks, where I met Nate
Yeah.
Pig and the amazing story of everybody and how we all love to make fun of Bandit.
Mhm.
I must say,
Mhm.
I enjoyed my time on Cheap Tricks. That was good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like the bar buddies who aren't drunk sort of scenario.
Yeah. 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 No, and it's there was a lot of chatter in the actual in-game chat, and there was a lot of camaraderie and all that sort of stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm
I loved the
currently on.
family morals in that team.
Yeah, yeah.
South Africa also had that, which that was
Mm.
really my first taste of what a family team was from League South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
But then I stayed there for a while. Oh no, wait. Before Cheap Tricks, I was in Empire as a leader.
Oh.
Wow.
I got invited to Empire by Rex, and
Yeah.
then the next month I became one of the leaders.
Mm-hmm. How
And so
long
I
did you stay
stayed
with the
there,
Empire? Yeah.
I'd say almost a year, or
Oh.
maybe
Wow.
more than a year. But then
Uh-huh.
we had some internal disputes, and I will say now it is my fault. I was going through one of my youth swings,
Mm-hmm.
hormonal, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
You know how teens have that. They have the emo phase, and then the next day they're pink and in femboy clothes, and you wonder how they got them.
Yep. And then you went to Discord.
No, and then I went to Cheap Tricks after I broke up with Empire. And
Ah.
I will say to this day, to this very day, people in Empire do not like me. I tried to come back after I apologized to all the leaders, and the team rejected me. The leaders were fine with it, but the team didn't want me. So after
Okay.
that, I went back to Unity for a little bit, and
Mm-hmm.
then to Cheap Tricks. And
Mm-hmm.
then I went to Discord after that because Notorious offered me a spot. I am not sure if he plays anymore, honestly.
Yeah.
So
We
I
had
joined
him on the
there.
podcast before. Yeah.
Yep, I played there a while, became great
Mm-hmm.
friends with Notch.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, he retired as of recent. I don't know if anybody knows that or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stayed in Discord. I've been in Discord on and off for a few months, but basically
Mm-hmm.
the rest of my HCR2 career has been majorly with Discord. I visited
Yeah.
Cheap Tricks. Again, I stayed there for like a month. I visited
Mm-hmm.
Universe, although I
Mm-hmm.
will say at my time in Universe, I did very badly
Mm-hmm.
because of all the masteries, and it was just coming out, so like there was
Yeah.
mostly mastery focused team events.
Mm-hmm.
But great friends with Drop Tech, great friends with Ruben.
Yeah.
I know several people in there who I still keep touch with. And then I went back to Discord. And I plan
Mm-hmm.
to stay at Discord for as long as my career will allow. I
Yeah.
heard and I seen Kappa is trying to get me to join his team. He sent me
Yep.
like a while ago on this what was it? For May. For the May season, he wanted me at the KD family, and I said,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
and I said, I'll have to pass because I promised Discord. So he messaged me again today at like 5:30 my time. Are you staying in Discord for July?
Ah.
I am not sure. I'll have to think about it. But like,
Yep.
I'm comfy.
There's his
I'm comfy in
answer.
my little groove.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Mm-hmm.
the people here, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Very
It's
cool.
that more important than anything else, really.
Yeah.
hmm Family over anything.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Definitely.
Same reason why I'm staying with Oz and C. People think that I'm Australian, to be honest. I've been asked multiple times in private if I'm from Australia, and I said I am not, but I'm associated with Oz and Z.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, just
anyway.
like I was in South Africa, and I wasn't South
Oh,
African.
Yeah.
yeah.
They made me
Yeah.
Yeah.
change my
Yeah.
flag though, so people start coming and
Oh,
talking to me in South African, and I'm like, what?
um.
so
Oh,
funny.
that's all right.
Mhm.
Uh.
I have another question. I learned that you're a fan of the Oz and C community podcast. What do you like the most about the show? What has been your favorite episode and why? And have you liked and subscribed?
Okay, time to come out here. I learned of you a while ago, and I have been meaning to listen to some podcasts, but I have not had the time to.
Yeah.
Life has been very hectic over here. So
Uh-huh.
I will go through and listen to myself and probably cringe at myself after this. And I probably will like and subscribe. I will try to at least.
You like and subscribe first, then you listen. Okay.
Okay. Works with me.
That's how I promote our show. Sorry. He was laughing at me again. Mm,
I have a few favorite episodes, but I'd love to hear what you think. So if you are listening and you are, listening along, please tell us your favorite episode in the comments.
yes, in the comments.
I'm curious. I'm very curious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So here is a couple of questions from Russ. He is the soup eating king.
So cute.
Yeah, he likes Vietnamese soup.
Yep.
Yep, that's the guy.
Yep.
So, what are your main hobbies outside of HCR2? We've kind of talked about.
Well, besides music, I do write. I do poetry and small stories.
Okay, small stories in what regard?
Usually just ideas I create in my head, or
Okay.
I just jot them down on a paper real quick. Usually
Yep.
nothing professional.
Yep. Do you know that Reese has actually wrote his own book?
Wow,
Yeah,
quite the.
Fingersoft Reese. Well, he's no longer Fingersoft Reese. Wrote his own book. And it's actually quite a good read. I've actually now listened to it. I didn't read it. I listened to it in the car while I was driving. But it is, yeah, Privatized Freedom. It's called. There's an episode of the podcast about it. We talked to him about the actual book itself, which is pretty cool.
Wow, quite the skill set on this community.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been great on the podcast, and it was great to chat to him about his book. So if you want to have a listen to something that's a bit different to the podcast, have a listen to that one.
Alrighty.
Yeah, so that was only a couple of those episodes ago as well. So, um, alrighty. What is a cool local food dish that you love that we should try?
Does Subway count as a local food dish? Mm.
No, because I can have Subway in Australia. That's not local.
We do have a place. Okay, it's called Front Door Barbecue, and it was voted the best burger in America.
Oh, That's a big. That's a very big statement.
hmm And I have tried them, and they are literally the best burgers ever. Except a lot of people say that they've cut down on their burger size because they need to serve more people now that their popularity has risen.
That's
Mm.
that's the usual. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We have a burger bar in Australia called Grilled, and I still think that Grilled was the one who's ruined it for all burger places because you went in there and the burgers got smaller and smaller and got more and more expensive, and then every single burger bar decided they could do the same and lift their prices and make them smaller. Um,
Hmm. Quality
yeah.
over quantity, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, for sure. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, very interesting, very interesting. And then his last thing was recently on the Empire memes and fun server, and it was really fun. All the hosts and guests need to answer and the audiences and the servers need to choose the side effects. It says you can choose a superpower, but the person to reply has to choose a side effect. I don't know how this is going to work, but um, how about everyone picks a superpower,
Yep.
Mhm.
And
and
then the comments will dictate our side
our
effects.
side effects?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
JR, I'm going to throw you under the bus. You first.
Teleportation. I'd like
Teleportation is your
to have that superpower
okay.
because
Well,
I'll go to Australia in a heartbeat.
okay. Well, I know what the side effect will be.
What?
You'll turn up
Jet
without your
lag.
luggage. No, you'll turn up without your luggage.
Because
Oh man.
only your physical self would teleport. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Don't think too deep about that. That's gonna leave
No,
some
no,
problems.
no. That's why I
I'd
said
still
luggage.
I'd still teleport without the luggage, but I have to have my clothes on.
What
What
about
about
you,
you? Yeah.
GodsWheeler?
Um, I would say the ability to cure any illness, like a healing in a sense, like a healing aura.
Hmm.
Wow, that's very
And
deep.
I already know what the side effect is gonna be. It's gonna be like a toll on your own physical health,
I
whether
was thinking that.
temporary,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
there is a person from a show. Do I mention the show or not? I'll say
What?
no for now. But whatever that person healed, he would take upon himself.
Hmm.
So he would
That? Oh,
eventually become so full of cancers and brain tumors and stuff
mhm.
like that that he would die.
Wow.
Oh.
Very interesting.
Hmm.
I was going to say, um, the movie Paul. That's how he heals people. He takes it on himself and then heals himself.
Mm.
Healing yourself is a crazy work.
Yeah, yeah.
This guy was only able to take other people's illnesses away from them, such as like deformities from children. He was able to heal them
Yeah.
completely, but then he'd take
Hmm.
upon part of his body, a deformity. So yeah, it was pretty sad because he was the way they portrayed him was a good guy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's interesting. What about you, Eva? What would be your superpower?
I would love to be able to tell what people were thinking.
Oh.
Mind reading.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Can you tell what I'm thinking right now?
My side effect is I won't be able to turn it off. I'll hear, do I want salt or pepper on my steak? Do I
There's
want, you know,
there's a movie. There's a movie about that, but the main character is a female, right? She's a black woman, and then she's working with is it the football recruiting agency? Something. So she would find out what the men think, what the men are thinking about. It's both a curse and a good thing. So,
I can imagine some very questionable thoughts being overheard.
uh-huh. That's why I was asking Eva. Eva,
yeah.
don't think right now. You come back and join the podcast.
No. All good. All good. All right. And if
But
you
we
are
will leave.
listening,
Yeah, but if you are
yeah,
listening, leave a
yeah,
comment. We're
please
interested
leave a
to
Yes.
see
comment.
what your side effects will be. There's probably going to be like when you teleport, you instantly land on banana peels, or you teleport upside down. That would be interesting.
Well, JR, that means it's your question.
Is it my question next? Oh, okay. Yeah. Here are some questions from DZ. I am Groot. He's your team member, right?
He's actually a team
Yeah.
leader.
Oh,
He
yeah.
is one of the OGs.
Oh, geez. Yeah, yeah. And he is also in the podcast server. So we will have him soon. So here's his question. Hi, GW. It must be asked. So I'll ask, what is your favorite cheese?
Favorite cheese? Anything that's really sharp, like extra sharp cheddar specifically.
Ooh.
Okay.
I also like Gouda outside that category, especially smoked Gouda.
Mm,
Also,
Mhm.
fun fact, hard cheese triggers the same part of your brain as hard drugs do.
really?
Yep.
Uh,
Mm.
very interesting.
Mhm. So his next question is, what are your favorite movies in each of these genre? Comedy.
Hmm. Probably Evan Almighty.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, very funny.
Action. Yeah, or suspense.
Spider-Man Into the
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm. And drama.
Oh, drama. Okay, let me think. Rango.
Mm-hmm. How about family?
Um, let me think. Family movie. Um, Probably The Chronicles of Narnia.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the musical.
Um, Musical. Probably High School the Musical.
I was thinking of saying that. Yeah. Okay. I like The Sound of Music. Have you watched that?
Yes, that is an amazing movie.
Uh-huh. It's a classic. Yeah.
We actually have the
Okay.
DVD.
Oh. Yeah, yeah, we do too. We also have that. Oh, that's so good. Okay, his next questions. What are your top three favorite HCR2 vehicle and why? And your top three favorite in real life vehicle and why?
All right. HCR2 vehicles. I'm gonna say motocross because of
Mm-hmm.
its flip boost mastery. It is
Yeah.
insanely fun to play with.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say super diesel just for the OG pro
Yeah.
aspect of it. And mm, I'd say dune buggy for its wheelie ability. I love wheeling with that vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How about your real life vehicles?
Hmm. Real life vehicles. I would say Maserati is a nice brand. I really like how their cars look and sound.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say a Supra and trying to think, probably Porsche.
Ooh.
Specifically on the Supra side, I'm thinking a GTR.
Mm. Yeah.
I really like the fancy looking cars and because
Mm-hmm.
of how they sound and all the tunes you can put on them.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, okay, that means it's my turn to ask a question.
Yes.
So that's that one done. Oops, we've both done that one.
I think the next ones are for us. Or
Possibly.
and
Lucas
these are
2 mil. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
just looking through the questions.
Yeah.
So this was from a question from Lucas 2 mil. He says, "What can I do to improve my skills in HCR2 involved in team battles?" You've answered that already with the questions we asked you about how you play your team events. So just scroll back a little, Lucas, and you'll hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so there's a question from DC Chill Guy. What has been the most and least favorite mastery so far?
Favorite masteries, I would say motocross. I mean, that's pretty much a given considering how like fast motocross can go now.
Yep.
Least favorite masteries, lowrider, because it takes so long. I mean, people grind for like what, days straight to get them, don't they?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
no boosted XP in any way, really.
Yep.
Least impactful. Okay, masteries. We're talking plural here. I would say least impactful would be lowrider again, because it doesn't do much. The quick charge sometimes helps, but like,
Yep.
and the fuel tank doesn't make a huge difference.
No.
And let's be real here, nobody uses mono wheel. Why did it get masteries? The roll cage is helpful, but like, who is going to come that close to hitting their head anyways?
Yeah.
And who attaches a roll cage to their neck? That must hurt. I imagine
And
just driving
heavy.
around with a roll cage on an actual mono wheel and just looking at people through this mesh of wire, be like, oh, hey there. It's better safe than sorry, taken way too literally. Most impactful masteries. There are 4 vehicles I can think of in particular with impactful masteries. Racing truck, especially the first mastery. No drag helps with everything. I just recently maxed it out because I've been playing it in Community Showcase and just steadily earning points for it. So I upgraded that and definitely helps. Monster Truck Cam Climb Assist module
Yep.
is crazy effective
Yep.
because we've all had that time where we get that bad landing on that hill and you can't make it up because Monster Truck tips over every 3
Yep.
seconds.
Yep.
I would say definitely top of the list, Rock Bouncer. Hard tires are literally everything. I do not have them, but they are very helpful in especially time attack. I mean, nobody wants to start out moving like a tortoise for like the first 100 meters.
Well, I liked the rock bouncer before mastery hit it. I liked the soft tires because you would get a bit of front wheel lift and virtually instant wheelie boost on certain tracks. And I
Yeah.
thought it was awesome. So I did for a month. I did rock bouncer, just doing time attack runs on all the tracks, starting from the first and working my way through them, just for a bit of fun. And got some really, really cool times. So yeah, I thought it didn't really need all that much work, but it has made it better. But it was already very good to start with, I thought.
Yeah, I believe so too. And I'm going to say one more mastery that was really effective was Snowmobile.
Oh
That
yeah,
is probably the best improvement in a vehicle since mastery.
yep,
Like nobody liked that the fact that it just stopped instantly when you were out of
yeah,
fuel. But now that thing rockets across water. You can literally not beat it in a water run anymore.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Well,
But
that was
in
always
time
the thing.
attack.
Yeah, that was always the thing for me. If there was those water runs, and people were using super diesel or racing bike, super bike, and I'm like, no, that's cheating.
Oh, I use motocross. Jump shocks, landing boost, flip boost, and thrusters. You can basically win every one and even get some sub 10 seconds. Motocross, in my opinion, is the most impactful mastery because of how good motocross is to start with. And I will say it here, RIP Deflorator, we miss you. You would love what HCR has done to the motocross.
Mm.
All right, that's my spiel on it.
All good, all good. So JR, extending from that question, there's a question under mine from DC Chiller Guy from
Yeah.
Norkin. Do you want to ask that?
Yeah. This question is from your team event experience, which masteries are a must to have maxed, and which are the least and most useless ones?
Okay. Team event experience. I'm going to name 3 vehicles for each category. I'll start with, I feel like that's adequate.
Mm-hmm.
Most maxed mastery. I would say CCEV. The instant charge helps in a lot of scenarios, and especially the instant breakability.
Yep.
Racing truck, no drag and extra parts. That's also a must-have.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, even in a weird sense, Moonlander, because you can touch the ground with the capsule.
Yeah. And that was instant stop for. So that was the end of your run, even though you were like,
Yeah.
3 meters from the finish line. That was the end of your run.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. That was really frustrated when you tried to finish a steep downhill cliff in one blast.
Yep.
You ever just sat there and grinded for hours just trying to make it to the finish line?
Oh, trust me, I've spent countless days playing this game. So the answer is yes.
And what do you think are the most useless ones?
Useless ones, we already got to start with mono wheel.
Mm.
I don't know when mono wheels are even going to be like directly used in a team event anymore. I just don't think it's ever going to happen. Oh, back to the thing on impactful masteries, definitely bus. We're saying that right up front.
Yeah.
Useless. Mono wheel, lowrider. You can still get pretty good times with lowrider without the 4 parts and quick charge. I mean, there was an event a while ago where it was twisted stumps with lowrider, and I mean, I got within a second of max masteries with not even max parts.
Yeah.
It all depends on your skill level.
Yeah, I was going to say, skill level is always going to outdo every single aspect of the game. Because knowing where to land and how to land, and that momentum is more important than getting, a little bit extra boost from, coin boost or whatever.
Yep. Although it does have an effect to some extent. Like if you got nitro coin boost and overcharged turbo, it's gonna beat a no part monster truck.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
But in
Mm,
general, skill outweighs everything else. Yeah.
yeah.
What
Yep,
What do
indeed.
you think about the mastery of the hot rod? I thought it wouldn't. I thought it'd be reinforced, like it wouldn't be detached from the. They wouldn't detach, but
Oh,
it's still. Uh,
I
I
completely
don't like
forgot
it.
about Hot Rod Mastery. I never see anybody using it.
I'm using it
I
on cups, but yeah, I've got to the part of the first mastery, but I don't think it made a difference. What do you think?
I think it needed to have a somewhat nitro-ish explosion. Like it give you an extra boost. I feel like blowing up 5 times instead of 3 is pretty useless because nobody blows it up more than twice anyways.
Yeah. Look, the extra range it gives you with the misery fuel use is good,
Mhm.
but I would prefer that it didn't, because there's a lot of people that use it with jump shocks, and it falls apart. When it falls apart, that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, um,
Mm-hmm.
but I really thought it had some other. Um, I really thought it had
Big
some other.
perk.
Yeah.
Like every vehicle has its big perk, like
Yep.
climb assist module, quick charging charger for the CCEV. I think CCEV is broken in that respect that you can basically use its supercharger unlimitedly.
Yep.
And like roll cage on mono wheel, like
Mm.
that's a big thing for mono wheel.
Yeah.
And even just the extra power for tuning parts on Super Jeep and Jeep was a big thing because you can notice it. But
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you can't really tell anything with hot rod. I mean, the fuel consumption does help, but it's not often you get to the point where you get to that.
Indeed.
Okay, is it now your question, Eva?
I'm just looking at some other questions in here. So Star asked what were your past teams, which you've answered. King, which is why is HCR3 matching with LCA, looks and copy. We've kind of talked about that already. Kerr has asked, why does every new car you're releasing part of a reward event? I'll answer this on some part because it's mainly so then people don't have to. They have to play the game to get the.
It encourages playing.
It encourages playing as opposed to spending, which is kind of good on one part. But I think the number of points you have to get is kind of a long run of playing. I'm just looking at the rest of these questions. There are some questions here from some people from. Is this the Discord channel? Yeah, there's a Discord channel. They're kind of questions for us.
Mm-hmm.
So Larry has asked the question, what are the host's thoughts on what will happen to the game in the remainder of 2025? JR, did you want to answer that?
Much the same. I don't think it will have a drastic change for the remainder 6 months go.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm hoping there's more cars coming because I've maxed my account again.
Oh my gosh. Do
I'm
we
hoping there's
really
more
need
cars.
more cars?
Oh, you never know. You never know.
There
And
was
then
there was a time I was hang on. There was a time I was thinking because there are usually 4 team events, right? And there are 5 vehicles to choose from. Why not put more vehicles to choose from?
I like the events in that respect where it was a long jump and they gave you all the cars. It
Yep.
was fun to see what people came up with.
Mm-hmm.
Because it takes a while for a vehicle to rotate on the team events. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
Or you start a
Use the
series.
supercar.
Yeah, you start a series of team events where it's like 4 tracks and you can only use one vehicle for the whole team event. You start with Jeep, then you go scooter, then you go bus, and you can't use masteries. So that way it'd be like a fun little progression.
We used to do that, or we probably still do that a little bit in TNT. Just for shits and giggles, we'll do,
Oh, yeah.
if there's a whole range of cars just for fun, we'll go, right, we're going left to right, 1 to 5, in that order.
Yeah.
And then, you do whatever you like in terms of parts or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But it was just one way of having fun. This was when we were quite strong in the lower divisions, but now we're in Division 1 and we tend not to play around that much. We tend to just try and keep in Division 1 and not get promoted into CC, but also not fall back either.
Yeah, I feel that.
Hmm.
There's been a lot of times where I've just retired from CC to play in Cheap Tricks or League South Africa or go back to Jesus Christ
Yeah.
for a month just because
Mhm.
I can't handle the competition. I just want to break.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Mhm.
And I'm the same. I switch in teams a fair bit because I'm looking for the challenge and then some time off and then a challenge and then some time off. So yeah, it's good to mix and match. There's another question here, more aimed at us from Grubby Out. The host's opinion on the increasing monetization in HCR2 and removing proven mechanics, replacing them with something you pay to win. Adventure tokens, blueprints, PE price increase, and recharge account amount decrease. And then releasing vehicles early only by paywall that are included in TEs the same week, where you can unlock it in the Bolt. They did that with the Bolt. Um, I think the gaming industry in general, after talking to Reese and hearing about, part of him losing his job and all that sort of stuff, and how, the gaming industry in general has had a bit of a slide. Most of that was because of COVID stopping and people kind of not being stuck at home and playing games anymore. They're out working. So I think their revenues have come down. So part of it being play to win and, trying to get more money out of the game is their way of keeping the game moving. And is it unfair? Yes, it is. But without them having some people pay to play the game, there won't be a game to play. So that's my perception and my perspective. But whether it's right or wrong is, you know. What about you, JR? What do you think?
I agree with you. I will not go into it anymore. I just agree with you. The game needs to make money. We understand that. Yeah, you know.
Yep.
hmm
Mm.
I like this next question.
Okay,
Go on the
go
next
on.
question.
Yeah,
A
sure.
question from Gearbox. What was the host's experience with the podcast so far? And do you think it's at its peak or there's more up to come? I'll go first.
Okay.
So, the podcast will be 4 years old in October. So that means Eva's been here for 4 years. I've been here for 3 years. And it's going well for us so far. We are maintaining an episode every 2 weeks. We're maintaining that. And reaching out to people, players here and there who we think are, you know, would like to be on the show because we would like to hear their stories and it's about them, not about us. We asked players from different teams so their teams will be represented. And maybe for those who are curious why we haven't gotten some people, players, trust me, I have reached out. I have invited even someone from Discord who should be on the podcast, but I didn't get a reply. So I wouldn't mention the name anymore. But yeah, we understand if people don't like to be on the podcast. There are people who are like that. That's understandable. But yeah, I like how it's going. I don't know if we've peaked, but I like where it's going. And there's more to come, definitely. What about you, Eva?
We've touched on this a little bit, how the podcast has evolved over the last, 3.5 years or 3 and 3/4 years.
Yeah.
Because, when we started, it was mainly about the Oz and Z community, and then we started getting international players, and we were having
Yes.
the mixture of people, and then we had some really amazing big players on, which opened the doors to other players, which got us
Mhm.
other people who were interested. And then
Mhm.
we started asking more and more questions of of the guests and saying, "Hey, let's hear about you. Let's hear more about what makes you tick and what makes you play the game." And our readership, our followers, and all that sort of stuff have been growing slowly.
Mhm.
Which for us is why we do it. We do it because then people can hear us, and we love the comments and the people chatting about it. And we've had Fingersoft come out and say, "Hey, you're a vital part of our community. Let's make you pit crew," which has been um, really appreciated. And I speak on my behalf and on Pete's behalf because he's not here, and more so
Mhm.
JR as well. But we don't do this for kudos, or we don't do it for the money, because there is no money in this. Um, we do this because we really enjoy hearing people's stories,
Yeah.
and it's great to hear um, the thing that holds us together as a community, the game. has this amazing community around us, and we really appreciate that community. And that's what our podcast is all about. It's about the community. It's about the people who come together and have a laugh, have a bit of fun, and the common thing that we have is playing the game. I get people say, "Oh, what are you doing in the weekend?" And I say, "Oh, I'm recording a podcast." And they say, "Oh, what's the podcast about?" And you say, "Oh, it's about
Yep.
a car racing game." And "Oh, it's a car racing game. Oh, do you play it?" "Oh, I play it on my phone." "Oh, you play it on your phone. Okay." And then, what do you talk about? And we've had some very deep conversations, and we've had some really amazing people on, and all that sort of stuff. And I just still think that the podcast itself has continued to evolve and will continue to evolve, because there's always something different coming around the corner. There's always something else to talk about. And
Mhm.
I honestly thought we would have run out of things to talk about.
Mhm.
But like the game, there's updates and changes and everything else. And, we've trialed some things that worked and some that didn't. And we've, changed the format. So, yeah, I think there's, it's not so much peaked. I think we've had different peaks
Yeah.
and we've had different troughs, but we've also come to the conclusion that we really enjoy listening to people's stories.
Yes. And it's
Mm.
good to hear a voice behind the name.
Yeah,
Don't you?
that
Yeah.
too. That too. That
Uh-huh.
too. Getting Vocope on. I mean, not a lot of people know the story behind Vocope, but we'd been approaching him for months and months and months, almost a couple of years. We'd been approaching him and saying, "Hey, we'd really
Mhm.
love you on. We'd really love you on." And there was always a little bit of hesitation, and
Yeah.
we weren't really sure what the hesitation was all about. And I finally got Tessa to ask him on the side,
Ooh.
and Tessa come back and said, "Hey, he's really his English is not the best, and he's if you guys had a native Russian speaking person, he'd come on." So I managed to find a friend who spoke Russian as a native language, and um, that all happened. But there was this whole thing about speaking English to be on the podcast, and
Mhm.
we've had multiple different nationalities on here. We've
Yes.
toyed with using different languages, and we've had a bit of fun with that as well. So language is no barrier. Um,
Mhm.
with technology coming the way it is, pretty soon we'll be able to speak into a microphone in English, and it could be translated to the person on the other end of the podcast into their language, and they can answer in their language, and it would be translated back to us and into English. So I look forward to doing that sort of stuff as well. So there's the next
Mm.
hurdle to overcome.
Yep.
Hmm. Sorry,
Mm.
that was a bit longer than expected.
Mm.
um. So do we start playing the Never Have I Ever, or is there more?
Yes. I think we're on that part of the show. Are you ready for a quiz, GodsWheeler?
Fire when ready.
This is not
Ah,
graded. Don't worry. This is for fun. This is just for fun. We ask this to all our podcast guests. It's the Never Have I Ever Hill Climb Racing 2 edition. Are you also ready, Eva? You will not answer. I'm just asking if you have your spreadsheet.
the spreadsheet's open. The spreadsheet's
Okay.
open.
Okay,
So
cool.
yeah, knock yourself out.
hmm First question. Have you ever run a team event ticket on a live stream on Discord?
Yes, I have in multiple servers.
Oh, cool. It's fun, right? It's fun doing that. You get
Yeah,
to
it's not
interact
so
with.
fun when you have Zoro and Mono Victor in the same channel watching you. It gets
Ah.
stressful.
I've never experienced that, so I don't. the feeling. I don't want to know the feeling. Okay, next
No,
question.
you do
Have you
not.
right? Have you ever made a custom track?
Yes, I have.
And the next question leads to that. Has your custom track ever been featured in a community showcase?
Nope, for good reason.
Mhm. Okay. Next question. Have you ever spent gems to get the XP multiplier in the shop?
Yes, I have. I think I've spent about 6,000 gems on multipliers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And next one, have you spent the 4,000 gems to purchase the legendary chest for XP?
No, I have not deemed anything that necessary of XP. I have like
Yep.
1.6k gems, or no,
Mm.
I'm down to like 1,200 gems now. I used to
Mm-hmm.
be at 23,000 at
Oh
my
my
peak,
gosh. Yeah.
but then
Mm.
parts, vehicles,
Yeah.
XP, it takes a
Yes.
toll.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I understand that. That happens to me. That happened to me too. Next question. Have you spent real money in the game?
If you haven't spent $2 in the game to get the bling bundle and remove your ads, I don't know what's wrong with you. The ads were so annoying. But yes, I have spent money in the game. I did have VIP for a few months too.
Yeah, yeah. Next question. Have you completed all the masteries for all current vehicles?
No, not even close. I have
Oh,
2 vehicles with full mastery, which is sports car and motocross.
oh, okay, okay, cool. Next one. Have you thought of giving up playing the game?
I have, and I did for a while.
Ooh, for how long?
2 months.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, cool. Next question. Have you used a prefix in your name to announce what team you're in?
Yes, I have. I have done that with Empire,
Mm.
Unity.
Have you created content for a YouTube channel?
Not for a YouTube channel, but I have posted some team event runs for some buddies on AGilr, if you know what that is.
Mm. Does that count, Eva?
No, I'm
But
going to give him a
yeah.
never.
Okay.
That's all right.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever met another HR2 teammate or player in real life?
No, everyone I've ever talked to never played the game. Oh, you know what? I'm going to correct myself. I have met somebody who plays HCR in real life,
Okay.
but
That
I've never played in a team with them.
that's all right. Who
Mm-hmm.
was that?
Um, his name is Connor, and he like rarely played it even. He had like 3.6k garage power or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I have people who I have a my best online friend who
Yeah.
plays in Oregon. So it's not far from where I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to do a meetup there eventually, but not
Yep.
Yeah.
as of current.
Mm-hmm.
No, fair
Mm-hmm.
enough.
Yeah. Yeah. And the last question, have you ever done a face reveal on any Discord, not including the podcast server?
Yes, I have. I have done one in Unity, in
Oh,
Empire, and in Discord,
okay.
and in Cheap
Okay.
Tricks.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Cool.
There you
Mm-hmm.
go.
But not a lot of people know my face because I don't know. For some reason, I'm in top teams, but not a lot of people know who I am, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the best way to be.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want too many people copying my name. It still happens though.
Yeah.
Did it just
Alrighty.
get off? I was gonna say
No, no,
the
no,
silence
no.
was deafening.
I was tallying up the score here. So you're on 4 in total points, which is not the lowest score we've had. So you had 4 nevers. The lowest score is 1, which is actually by me. But 2 was R Diddy. So unfortunately, you haven't won this Never Have I Ever. but you're quite lucky because you win nothing, just like everybody else who has played Never Have Ever. So realistically, you didn't win anything, but neither did anybody else. So you're at evens with everybody else.
I don't think I lost brain cells. We're good.
But the most important part is you contributed to this game, and we love the Never Have Ever because it's just a bit of a laugh on ourselves playing the game. So yeah, but this brings us kind of to the end of the podcast because this is the pointy end of the podcast. So at this point, is there anybody that you would like to give a shout out to?
My best online friend who plays HCR, Wolf, aka Josiah. Really miss you. Wish we could get in touch again. Like to give a shout out to Nate Pig, being such the good guy. Looking forward to racing with you again in the future.
Yep.
And I would say, if you ever watch this, David, maybe take a little bit of notes for your community. I'm not sure how busy you are and stuff like that, but it doesn't seem like the community is being listened to a ton, which I find a little bit saddening. And Notch, if you ever happen to listen to this, it was good racing with you, buddy, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your whatever you're up to.
Yep.
All right, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Alrighty. Well, JR, do you have any last comments?
Any last words?
Oh, okay, yeah, I think I got cut off. So I was saying, I'd like to thank you for joining us here on the podcast. It was very cool listening to your um HR to journey, and it was cool chatting with you. So I had fun, and thank you to all the questions that were sent from the podcast server, from the OSNC server, and from the Discord server. Thank you, everyone. What
It was a
about you,
pleasure
David?
to be on here.
Yeah.
I
Well,
found it
thank you.
really fun for a first experience.
We're glad to hear that.
Yes, we're glad to hear that. So listen up, everybody. If you are contemplating coming on, please reach out to JR or myself or Pete. We'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to have you on and have a lovely, just relaxing chat and just see where things go. So we've now reached the end of the podcast. So this is my time to say, if you are still listening and you've enjoyed what you've liked, and you've liked what you've heard, and you'd like to listen to more, you can go back and listen to old episodes. There's lots of them. There's 75 after this one. So you're welcome to go back and listen to them. You don't have to listen to them in any order, but there are some really good ones back there. So have a listen. And by all means, like and subscribe so you can get the next one in your feed when you open up your device of choice and app of choice.
Mhm.
Thanks again to GodsWheeler for being on the podcast. It's been amazing having you.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
JR,
Eva.
for all the work you're doing behind the scenes, and to Pete as well,
Mhm.
who works behind the scenes tirelessly, getting stuff done. This will be up very shortly, and we'll be looking forward to recording the next one very soon. So, thanks everybody. Have a lovely week or two, and we'll catch up with you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Peace.